name of Jesus. Hallelujah.
Good morning, Deacon Blue. All right, let me get my scriptures out there and get our other page pulled up. I'm coming. Hey, my Crystal. Anybody else there? If you say good morning, I'll do my best to say it back. Hey, Mama Northington. All right, let me get these scriptures in. It's a beautiful day. I gotta get over here. The problem is, sorry, it's a lot of people over here. Deacon Blue, I said good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Nita. Good morning, Carol. Good morning, Sister Vanessa. All right. And I just want to get this one more scripture dropped in, and then we're going to get started. Like, I don't do the waiting for people to come on in the room thing, but by the time I get my scriptures dropped in, usually that's what ends up happening. I need a helper router or something. All right, there we go. All right, here we go. Okay. So in case you all did not know, I can't see my personal page. It does not show up in StreamYard, like comments and stuff. So I have to pull it up on a separate tab on my computer so that I can go back and forth and check and see who's on my personal page so they don't get ignored. So I think we've got everybody. So good morning. All right. So I'm super excited. Today is kind of a fun word. If you remember yesterday, I ended up a little bit all over the place. I ended up crying again, but it's okay. But we were in, hey, my Carol. Oh, I think I spoke to you already, Carol. Yeah. Yesterday we were in the book of 1 Corinthians, the 13th chapter, and coming out of that, or I think it's the 12th chapter. I didn't put it in right because I was rushing. That's why I can't rush. But yesterday we talked about, for now we see through a glass darkly. Well, this is what I love. And I've shared this before. I love it when I put scriptures together, like, this scripture over here, and then this scripture over here. And then one day you just happen to be reading and they come together. And so I want to read that entire passage. I put the 13th verse in, and I put it in the King James Bible and the Message Bible, but I want to read it together, 12 and 13. Remember yesterday we started with, for now we see through glass darkly. We talked about saying yes in the dark and trusting God when we can't see what in the world he's doing. But listen to this whole thing in Message Bible. It says, we don't yet see things clearly. We're squinting in a fog, peering through a mist. But it won't be long before the weather clears and the sun shines bright. We'll see it all then, see it all as clearly as God sees us, knowing him directly just as he knows us. Here's today's message. But for now, until that completeness, we have 3 things to do to lead us toward that consummation. Trust steadily in God, hope unswervingly, love extravagantly. And the best of these 3 is love. We always hear this, hey, Matara, we always hear this quoted. Oftentimes we hear that 13th verse and we hear it quoted in the King James Version. And many of us could just quote it off the top of our heads. And now abideth faith, hope, charity, these three. But the greatest of these is charity. Well, I was able to put the formula together for my own personal life. And I love the conclusion that I came to, because remember, I shared with you on yesterday, there have been so many things over the past, I would say 5 years, more than that, but I'm specifying from 2016 on, where I was just in the dark. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what God was doing. And I couldn't see. But what I love here that the writer says is, when you can't see what's going on, while you're waiting for the revelation in your life of what God is doing, you've got some things that you can do. And what it is that you can do while you're waiting is trust God with everything in you. It says, trust steadily in God, hope unswervingly. While you're waiting to see what the end of the conclusion of the whole matter is, keep, what's the old saying? Keep hope alive. Don't stop hoping in God. But the greatest, the biggest, to me, what I'm finding to be the most vital in my life is love. It breaks my heart. It shatters my heart. I was having a conversation yesterday with some people. I was talking about a specific incident with a person. And I said, what really breaks my heart more than anything is this person is so riddled, so overtaken in bitterness and hurt and anger and unforgiveness that it causes almost like a catch-22. It's a cyclic situation. It's a cycle, because the problem is this person is so trying to be so guarded and guard themselves because of hurt, that the problem is they make themselves unapproachable or unable to be around, almost unlovable. But then they become more hurt and angry because people are not walking in the level of the love that they think people should walk in. And it's a cycle. When you love, you garner and you draw. When you put love out, I'm telling y'all what I am learning and have learned. When you put love out, when you exude love, and when you just walk in love, it is spiritual science that love attracts itself to you. And I'm not talking, man, woman, boyfriend, girlfriend, da, da, da. I'm talking just the purest sense of loving others as Christ has called us to love others. You know what the greatest things about yesterday for me was? Is there were people in my life who I didn't ask anybody to make any sacrifices. I'm not one of those people that says you got to spend a lot of money on me. I'm not one sending out, I'm just going to keep it real, and I hope I don't get in no trouble or be controversial, but I'm not one of those that on my birthday sends out my Cash App. You know what blessed me above measure yesterday? There were some people, there was a young lady, and I reposted it, that did a post about what she felt about me and the effect that I had had on her life, and it brought me to tears. I don't know if she's on here, and I hope she don't mind me saying this. Latasha bought me a beautiful gift. She bought me a gift that anybody that knows me knows they always gonna be safe with that. And I loved it and appreciated it. But above all, the card that she bought and put in that bag, when I read it, I knew it had been picked in care and in love and in concern, and it made me cry. I am learning. I spent so much time. Again, I'm not saying anything to you all that I've not had to live. Good morning, Brother Parker. I'm not talking off the cuff. I'm not talking off of third party information. I'm talking what I know. I'm talking from, oh, I'm gonna cry again. No, I'm not gonna cry again. I am talking from the experience of somebody who used to walk in such hurt and bitterness and anger and anguish and unforgiveness and resentment. Good morning, Sister Karen. I am talking from the sense of a person who used to spend so much time reveling in my hurt that my mentality became, I'll get you before you get me. And my mouth subconsciously, I won't even say intentionally, but because I had not allowed God to do the healing work in my life and in my heart, subconsciously, my mouth became a lethal weapon that should have been registered with the state. Just like people, you know how you have to register to carry firearms? I should have had to register something just to have this mouth on me. Never cursed, never used profanity, but I knew how to use my mouth and I would buckle my lips just like this, and I could use my mouth to get you up off me before you even had the thought of coming for me. Because that was the attitude that I walked in, because I had been so hurt and so wounded. So for me, it was that catch-22, because then I was more hurt and angry and frustrated that I was alone. I had no friends because anybody wanted to be around me because I was mean and nasty. I had no friends because nobody wanted to be around me because I was always coming out my mouth offensively at people, because I had garbage on the inside. So garbage is what came out. And when I took the time and the space and the opportunity, yeah, I am going to cry, I think, but to spend some time. When you spend time in worship, there is a healing that comes when you take the time out to get somewhere before God and say, God, this is not about people. This is not about how people see me. When you allow God to do the healing process in you, and he begins to allow you to see yourself through his eyes. When I began to understand that it did not matter what people said, when I began to understand that it did not matter who on the outside rejected me, that the creator of the universe said that I was the apple of his eye. And when I began to understand the pure and true and unconditional love of God, I soaked in that, and it became a healing balm that taught me how to love myself outside of other people. And then when I learned how to love myself based on nothing but me and God, I learned how to love other people. And it has been life-changing. It has been one of the most freeing experiences of my life. I learned how to love other people unconditionally and let them be who they are and still love them. But when I learned how to exude love, I found love attracting itself to me. Understanding God's love. Yes, Brother Parker, that's what it's all about. And so I want to speak to someone today. That is your Good Morning Wake Up Challenge. I'm almost out of time. If you are in a dark place and you feel like, God, I am submitting to you in the dark, when you find that healing place in your heart to become whole, I'm going to share this and then I'm going to jump off. Yesterday, Went out to eat with some friends and my family, and just spent some time. And my godmother was in the car with me, and I had to take my daughter to Walmart. And so as we were leaving, we were pulling out of the driveway, and past there was a man, excuse me, sitting on the side of the road, and he had his children with him. And I don't know why. I really try to stay prayerful and ask God for discernment. Because I'll be honest, there's some people outside of Family Dollar. There's one particular lady outside of Family Dollar. I gave to her the first time. And I'll just be honest, she was real nasty about it. And I've not felt discernment in my spirit to give to her again. But I always pray and ask God for wisdom and say, God, you tell me what to do. And as I was pulling out, I passed him, and there was like and he had a sign, and said, I need help, trying to support my family, need help in rent, and da da da. And initially I kept driving, and my godmother looked over and saw the sign. And she immediately, if you know Mother Shuford, you know what she did. Immediately she started praying, God help them. And she said, God, send somebody to help them. I got so convicted. We were in the middle of Walden. I turned around. I knew it was God because there was no traffic coming. I literally did a U-turn in the middle of Walden. Turned around. And my godmother looked at me and she said, I didn't even want to say anything to you. Are you going back? I said, yes, ma'am. And when I turned my car around and I started pulling in the Walmart parking lot, my godmother pulled out her wallet. And I pulled out my wallet. And what blessed me more than anything is as she was getting money out and as I was getting money out, I heard my baby girl in the background. And she gave me $1 and some change. She said, Mommy, this is all the cash that I have on me right now. This is the last of what I have. And the fact that I could teach my daughter by example how to walk in compassion, how to walk in love, and how to say, God, my bills are paid and I thank you. And it's not my judgment or decision. All I know is I see this man out here with his children. And if I got a little extra something in my wallet and I can show love and compassion, God, I want to thank you. And to know that my child has the heart to be a giver and to walk in love was the very best birthday present I could have ever received. Yeah. So, doggone it, y'all done made me cry again. I've been crying every day this week. We're going to go back to them days of not crying. So, I'm jumping off. Hi, good morning. You want to say good morning to the peoples? This is my working girl. She getting dressed on her way to work. All right. I love you all. Have a wonderful day. I went a little bit over. Today's Thursday. We got tomorrow. And then don't forget Saturday, the grand finale, last day of the Love Challenge. So we would love to have you join us. I just want to check. Good morning, Sister Williams. Good morning, my Carol. Good morning to you all. I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't leaving anybody else behind. And I think we're all good. All right. Love you all. Have a wonderfully blessed day. Bye-bye.